Hey now, it's me, Bradley G, the man, the myth, the legend here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the World Nerve Center, headquarters of Synergy Cafe, Synergy Ventures, Synergy Event Marketing, Synergy Collaborative, Synergy Cafe. You want to come over to my cafe? We got a private club, and you're invited if you got a password. Okay, where's my friend Steve-O? I got to go find him. Steve! Oh.
Hey, I'm reaching out to you.
Oh, it's on your pinky. You got a pinky hand. You told me you had a deformity. I didn't know that's what it was. Makes it easy to do cups and balls, doesn't it?
that thing I was doing with the trick with the hand in the eye. If you saw the video, it's really a cute little trick.
Oh yeah, the hand is quicker than the eye thing.
Yeah, the hand's quicker than the eye. Right. By the way, I saw you had your coffee cup. I got mine here. Look at this cup that somebody sent me.
It looks
got
like
my name on it and a QR code to my website. And guess who sent me this?
QR code works.
Guess who sent me this?
I don't know.
You did.
I did it. Yes, I did.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a Christmas and an anniversary gift.
Cool. My own coffee cup with my.
Let me scan your QR code and see if this works. I'll put you.
I did.
Well, I'm going to do it. I want you to scan. Put your. Where are you?
I'm supposed to put it up to the screen?
Just hang on a second. I got to put you.
All right. Okay. If you can do that, that would be impressive.
There it is.
Really?
Boom shakalaka laka. The magic and comedy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oops, Steve.
Yeah. Ta-da! I'll tell you, the QR codes are amazing, even though I'm getting news that they are being abused by various companies. So you have to be careful about.
Well, that's the thing about hackers. They get very creative and figure out ways of doing stuff. So yep. Yes, it's going to be abused, just like email.
Yep. So let's talk about our theme today, which is
dun, 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 dun. Magic for seniors. Repeat bookings. Yes, you got to get repeat bookings. That's the hardest thing in getting the first one.
That's right. The most difficult thing is getting the first one, but getting the second one is much easier. If you did a good job on the first one, getting the second one and the third one is much easier to do. We all know that, and the repeat booking is something that if you're not experiencing it, I want you to start thinking that way. And when we're talking about performing for seniors, these people who are hiring you for these events is usually a monthly thing, an activity director. So they have to have X number of entertainers to bring in. And depending on where you live and how many facilities are in your area, the chances of you getting repeat bookings is very, very good.
So this comes in a place where you can't necessarily brand yourself unless you brand yourself having multiple programs. So they bring you back.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on that. I understand what you're saying, and I'm not against having multiple programs. But I'm going to tell you this. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Let's say you did go in and do the same show every month. For example, and not every month, but let's say they booked you for 1 month, and then 4 months later they brought you back, and then 4 months later they brought you back, and 4 months later, so you end up doing 4 shows, and it's the same show every time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the residents are going to be discouraged by that?
No, I don't. But the person that's hiring, it depends on how you posture it, because the person's hiring is thinking, oh man, I love magic. They had a good time, but we already had Steve. We should try this other guy.
That's true. That's true. But when they bring in a musician, those every 4 months, whatever musical act, they usually play the same songs or sometimes.
Unless they don't. I mean, I got a friend that does Elvis. He also does Frank Sinatra. And he does Garth Brooks.
Oh, I'm all for having multiple shows. I'm just saying, here's the thing, when you're working for the younger generation, they want to see something new every time. They don't want to see the same thing.
But the older generation forgets it, right?
No. Well, okay, yes. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're more appreciative. Each time they see a trick, for an older generation, they're going, I remember this one. I'm going to see if I can figure it out this time. That's their attitude.
Yeah. But what you could do is you could create different flavors. Like around Halloween time, you got the spooky magic. Around Valentine's, you got love. And around, the patriotic thing, you do the red, white, and blue. And then Christmas.
Right. Like when I do my show, I have the stiff rope and I have a flea who jumps on the rope and jumps off the rope and flies in the air. Well, when it was Halloween, it was not a flea. It was a spook, a goblin. He was invisible, So it was the same trick, but just a different pattern.
Exactly my point. If you want, you can take and you can use water and you can create coffee or tea or lemonade or Kool-Aid or whatever you want to do. It's just different flavors to the same thing.
So you're taking the position that the show needs to be different every time.
Not the show doesn't need to be different, but the mindset of the person hiring, they need to think, okay, this is new and fresh. It's not going to be that same thing that. And I'm a hypocrite here because I've been doing the same freaking show for 30 years.
Okay, and there's something to be said about that. There really is, because some people go, gee, why didn't you do that trick with the rabbit and the hat thing? And I go, well, I did that in the last show. Well, we wanted to see it again. It's a classic thing that they want to see every time.
Well, I go for a new audience, and that happens like if you work those senior lock-in things, the graduation events, it's a whole new group of high school seniors that come in each year. So your audience changes. Right. Your audience changes, but so does your committee. So you got to be careful they don't just leave you.
Let me tell you, I did a birthday party last week of it was about 15 girls and about the age 12 and 13. And if you've ever worked that crowd, you know the challenge that you have. And it was not easy. It was not easy. They made it very difficult for me, but the grandmother that hired me for the event party was very pleased. And so, yeah, I quit doing those lock-in senior things a long time ago because it's.
I did too. You got to put a schedule around.
Yeah, you don't get to perform till like 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes,
Yeah.
So anyway.
But back to the recurring or the repeat bookings, I think it's important, and you do have to posture it. It can be done either way. It doesn't need to be a new show, but you need to stay in front of these people so you're top of mind, because when it's time to book.
That's right. That is exactly right. Did you hear that, gang? He made a good point. It's to get the repeat bookings, you need to stay in front of them. Now, here's one thing you could do. You could say, okay, my first show was $150. Let's just use that as an example. But if you book me for 2 shows, it's $125 each.
Sure.
If you book me for 4 shows for the year and commit and give me the dates for 4 shows in the next year, it's only $100 a show. So you give them a discount. And believe it or not, some of these activity directors, they will jump at that because they know their budgets are limited and they know you provide a good program. So there's a suggestion right there.
Yeah, they might book out the whole year and say, let's just be done with this. We do our thing on the first Wednesday of the month, and let's just get you in here. You'll be here at 6 o'clock, and
exactly right. Here's
your money. We'll see you then.
No, right. Now, I will say another thing you mentioned about the activity directors and their perception. I will tell you that almost half of my bookings for the facility, senior facilities, the activity director doesn't stay and watch the show.
No, their job is done.
They brought me in, everybody's seeing, they're having a good time, and then they leave, And so then I sometimes have to go hunt them down to say goodbye.
Well, now that they're not there, what you got to do is you tell your audience, make sure you go contact the coordinator and let them know how much of a good time you had and you want to have me back.
Exactly right, yeah.
Put them to work for you. That's that referral thing.
And the other thing I do is I encourage the residents, if they enjoyed the show, to tell the other residents who didn't come, because I will quite often be in a facility that will house up to 100 people and only 25 people show up at my program. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the norm. I don't know why that is, but that's just, there are various reasons why. But the point I'm making is I encourage them to tell the others how good a show was and how much fun they had. And plus, it gives them something to talk about. That's the one thing that seniors need. They need to have new experiences and have something to talk about other than their old stories or what's on the news or whatever.
That's a good point. Because it just could be depressing if they talk about how the Amazon packages are all being stolen. Have you heard people are jacking cars? It's disgusting. Instead, they'll talk about, we had this magician, Steve Hart. He took the wallet out of my purse, but he gave it back.
Yeah, I'm a thief, but I'm a good thief, honest thief. I never did learn how to do the watch steal. I have several friends that would steal a watch, but for a while there, people were not wearing watches, so it's interesting. But mostly, the old joke with the seniors is you say, I'm going to take this watch and I'm going to put it in this drawer. And then 5 minutes later, I'm going to remember where it is. There's a routine in that. If you had one of those drawer boxes, you could put stuff in there and I looked in the drawer and there was nothing there. It was gone.
Yeah.
Where did I put that? And then all of a sudden, magically, it reappeared back into the box again.
I got a little one of those drawer boxes. I got to make myself a big one. I'm going to get a shoebox size one.
Yeah, you can make them. Yeah, it's true.
I want to make one.
I think there's a guy online who has a website that has nothing about how to do your own magic tricks, how to build your own magic tricks, and simple stuff, And I think the shoebox, drawer box idea is in there. The point is how to be creative, and of course, we all get a little bit lazy. I change the show around a little bit, and I don't buy a whole lot of new magic, even though I did buy the 1 to 6 spot card that Martin Lewis put out, and I'm now using that in my show as an opener.
Well, going back to the repeat booking thing, that's a high possibility. If you just earmarked a bunch of holiday type seasonal things, and you do the same show and just your pattern changes, and your branding of the image on your website, it's black and orange around Halloween time, it's green and red around Christmas.
And some activity directors definitely appeals to them. You're exactly right. And
yeah, I had a Halloween show that I used to do every year that I actually couldn't get rid of it. I had moved to Asheville, North Carolina for a couple of years, and the guy would call me up and say, okay, we're all set. We got you. We'll see you around 6 o'clock. And I'm going, hey, it's too far to drive.
No.
I had booked somebody else on it. And then he called me back again, said, okay, we got you going. And no, you're supposed to be talking to Norm, not me. I'm not there.
Yeah. Well, when I lived in Indiana, I did numerous bookings, repeat bookings for the same corporations for their Breakfast with Santa or whatever it is they were having. And they'd have me back every year. And yes, I tried to change the show around a little bit, but it ended up, they had new children there, new people, new employees. It was different. So it worked out. I don't know, like 3 or 4 years, they would call me every year and book me.
But the key on that, I guess, I think, is being top of mind. And like you do your postcard mailings, is just get a postcard in front of these people so they think about you when they're thinking, oh my God, because right now they're thinking New Year's Eve, they're thinking Valentine's.
Right.
And if you're not there, somebody else is.
That's right. So, and positioning yourself in front of the prospect is very, very important, as I've discussed in my marketing for senior audiences video series. So, by the way, anybody who's not signed up for that and wants to watch them, they're all 6 videos are available to you for free. So
that's a good price.
So let me know. Well, that's about all I have.
Wisdom.
Huh?
You're sharing the wisdom.
Yeah. And I'm giving away for free now because, I used to charge for stuff like that. And I know there's some guys out there who are struggling, who can't, I can name a couple right now who have contacted me and they're showing the appreciation for me sharing what I have to share, because, and here's my feeling. Until you're making money, until you're actually making money at this, I hate to see you, spending a lot of money if you don't have it, if you got to pay the bills, and
unless you got a big job like a brain surgeon or an attorney, they'll take your money.
yeah, but if you're doing magic shows for seniors, you probably don't have that kind of a job, So that's where that is. In
I'm in
fact,
full agreement. I prefer to share some things that you can quantum leap. Like a lot of beginner magicians, they want to work for businesses, so they end up looking for the Chamber of Commerce. That to me is not a good place to do it, because those people are usually sales reps and they don't have the authority to sign a check for an event. So if you were to market yourself at the Meeting Professionals International chapter or the National Association of Catering Executives or the International Special Events Society, or now it's called International Live Events Association, if you showcase in front of them, they're the people that plan events.
yeah, I used to do that. Yeah.
Then you have to climb that ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't want to do that anymore.
Well, I don't either, but I'm anybody that does want to do it rather than waste.
No. What you're saying is true. I remember the last trade show I did in Orlando. I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this one more time, and boy, was it work, because where you parked your car to the convention center was a good distance. Thank God there was a guy with a bicycle who had a little seat to jump on it. He drove you up to the entrance of the convention. And then when you get in the conventions, it took you another 500-600 yards.
What convention center?
Huh?
What convention center?
This is in Orlando.
Okay. No. That's a trick.
And I've been to the one in Minneapolis. I told you I performed there once before.
Ours isn't that big, but you go to some place like McCormick Place.
I've been to McCormick Place. Yes. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, you need a shuttle.
Yeah. And there's a lot of walking to go. And by the time I got to where I was doing the booth where I was doing the magic, I was exhausted. And then I'm standing on my feet for 6 hours or whatever, for how long the show was.
I did the grand opening for the Mall of America, and I parked on the opposite side of where the event was. I had to walk through the whole mall, and that's a 15-minute walk.
I'm now at a position where when I go to a retirement center, I want to know where the front door is so I can get in easily, if that's the door I'm supposed to go into. So sometimes I ask that question, So, yeah, it's all part of what we're doing. In
My friend John Ivan Palmer used to do a lot of those graduation lock-ins, and he had a parking spot that was by the door because he used to do them back to back. You do like 6 of them.
Yep.
And he used to have his own parking spot, the magician or the hypnotist.
Right. No, that's a real perk, and especially if you have a substantial amount of equipment to carry in. Now, I just booked a show for a school, and I'm not marketing myself to schools, but they came to me, and so I will be carrying my backdrop, my sound system, and all that stuff to the school. That's in January, and but it'll be easy for me to do. It's a kindergarten through 5th grade, and I've done several of those in the many years past, and so I'm excited to do that. The children can be a challenge too. I had another party I did recently where I walked in and all the kids are eating cotton candy. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I have to give them a lot of sugar. And they're running all around. And so when the birthday boy gets up to help me do the show, he won't stay still. He's running back to his seat, run over to the table, getting something to drink. And he doesn't understand, I guess. I don't know why, but he just wouldn't stay there. And I kept, okay, we're going to have to wait till he comes back. So we do the rest of the trick, And
gotta give him some Velcro shoes and put them on that spot on the floor.
It's a challenge. It is a challenge.
Oh, we got a comment here we had a little bit of light here. This is our friend Nick. Here he is. What does he say? Are you guys still running into vaccine requirements? No, I'm not.
Not here in Florida. Definitely not here in Florida. Are you? Because yeah. Let's put it this way. If I run into that, I say, no, I'm not your magician. That's just the position I take.
Yeah.
And but I don't want to get political about this, but maybe it's not even really politics. It's really wisdom about whether or not to participate in that. And so I do take supplements that, if you're not taking zinc and vitamin D3, you're fooling yourself. You need to be taking those two.
Yeah, you got to stay healthy. That's an all around thing with, God forbid I ever get sick. If I got a gig booked and I had to cancel it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sick.
Now, don't get me wrong. The two supplements I mentioned doesn't mean it's going to keep you from ever getting sick, but it sure does decrease it. And I went for a period of 10 years of taking those two supplements along with others.
Well, it's nice to be able to have enough gigs where you can tell them, "I'm sorry, I can't accept your gig. I will pass it on to a colleague."
Yeah. I hate to bring that up, but it is something we need to address, and you need to decide what you're going to do about that.
Well, that's a whole nother topic we could get into someday, is talking about all the requirements. I mean, the ASCAP thing with music, the insurance, the trip and fall insurance. Are you insured, bonded, and all that stuff? The vaccines.
Al brought up this last week in the comment section of our group about the HIPAA issue about taking photos of residents in nursing homes and putting them on social media. And he said, "Is that wise to do that?" And I told him, I said, "I've never had a problem with that." And but technically, if you go back and read the HIPAA requirements, they do state that you have to get permission from the person in writing. They say, because they're saying that the face is an identity issue, which makes sense, but.
Well, I have a solution.
Huh?
I have a solution for all of that stuff.
All right, tell me your solution. I'm listening.
It's the birth certificate. On the bottom, it says, "I am responsible for my own activity." And if everybody got that on their birth certificate, we'd all be good. The lawyers would be out of a job, but.
Well.
Uh-oh.
I believe in using wisdom. At the same time, it's a risk that you take. But a lot of things we do in life itself is a risk. Everything,
It is.
Al brought out there's a difference between taking a risk and a legal issue. But I take the risk of people coming after me on a legal issue. Basically what would happen is I would just say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know,"
Yeah, that works. As long as you don't have anything in your bank account, you're all good.
Well, that's just it. What are they going to? They're going to try to. They're going to fine you. How they're going to? I'm not going to go into that because I don't know the legalities of that issue. Basically, out of all the 30 plus years I've been doing this, I've never had an issue with that. So
I have not either.
Yeah. So, and at the same time, I make sure that I don't put people's names or the location of where I'm at in the photo. So, but then again, according to the HIPAA law or the requirements, that is not alone is not acceptable. So
yeah, it's one of those things. I have a new agenda I'm brewing up. We'll talk about that after the show here.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, we talk for sometimes a half hour to an hour after the show, just doing this.
Before and after, and sometimes during the week.
And sometimes during the week. That's right. And yet we've never met each other in person.
That's right.
We strictly have been doing this for over a year, just through video chat. So,
Woohoo.
It works.
Okay, buddy, let's sign this off. We've gone for 25 minutes here.
So, all right, it's been good.
Thanks for sharing the wisdom, Obi-Wan.
Posting your pictures of your shows, guys. I love to see those.
Woohoo. There he was, the man, the myth, the legend, Steve. Dun, dun, dun. So, if you have any questions, comment below. If you have any new topics you might want to talk about, let's bring those up. And for those that don't know, this is shared on YouTube and the Magic Universe on Facebook and the seniors page here as well. So we propagate it all over the world. Okay, that's it. Enjoy. Be good. Be kind. Be nice. Be safe. See you later. Bye.